Hi, good morning, wherever you are in the world. This is the Bitcoin Morning Brief. I'm Leah Walt here with Tone Vays. We have Thor sleeping in the background, but hopefully he'll wake up with this news. Tone, how's it going? How was the cruise?
Good. I don't know. I'm tired. It's been a long 3 days. The cruise was pretty cool. I was gonna do some streaming from the cruise, but it was really dark in there. It was like a club. It was really dark. It was really loud, and I was tired. Probably should have stayed home. I knew I wasn't gonna win the Aston Martin anyway. I think people were like upset at the end that like the two people that won the Aston Martins had like the decentral badges. From what I heard, I wasn't there. It was like a bracelet thing, so there was like 1,000 people there, and your bracelets were lit. And then like in the last like 10 minutes, if you were not in the top 10 to win the car, your bracelet was no longer lit. So once your bracelet is not lit, you go to the, a code check. I had to get my bag, and it was like a lot of people trying to get off this boat. So I didn't really stick around. I don't know who won, but yeah, it was a pretty long cruise. But yeah, it's gonna be a rough day today. I gotta go to the city. There's another event I gotta attend, and then Friday I gotta drive to Philly. So it's a rough week. It's a really rough week.
Well, I know who won. Atletico to Madrid. That would be obnoxious. All right, well, maybe you did win. I don't know, and you just don't want to be kidnapped. That's usually your fear. So I guess we'll see. But yes, you do have conferences coming up. So first one off, simple story. So Square Cash app is growing faster than Venmo, getting a boost from Bitcoin, analysts said. I'd be curious, were you at, oh, you weren't at the conference yesterday, so you didn't see Dorsey. But yeah,
No.
so Dorsey made a lot of insanely pro-Bitcoin remarks at Consensus, which was cool, even telling the story of how he joined the hackathon to get Bitcoin into Square, right? So CNBC here is saying that Square Cash is growing faster than PayPal's Venmo. And the hypothesis in this story is that the app appears to get that added boost because it allows those transactions in Bitcoin. So yeah, as you very well know, the stock is going straight up. They're making tons of money. Do you think that, what do you think of this story? Do you think it's accurate that it's because of Bitcoin joining?
Yeah, I mean it helps, right? Also, it could be a cooler app. Look, I have not used Square. I have not used Venmo ever. Neither one of them. I think it's more than that, right? I mean, I honestly I like Jack Dorsey to focus a little more on Twitter because I am literally banning and reporting like 3 fake Tone Vases a day, and it's really frustrating to the point of why do I even want Twitter at this point, right? I mean, Twitter is like a more pain in the ass right now, for me anyway, than all the popularity that it actually did. So I'm not sure. Again, since I've never used either of the apps, it's hard to say. Also, Venmo's been around for a long time. I don't know how long Square's been around. You can't compare, like right now, you can't compare Venmo's current growth to Square's current growth if Square is new and Venmo's already been around a little bit, because the percentage of growth in Square would be higher. So you have to normalize these numbers. Like I haven't had time to read the article, unfortunately, but if you normalize the numbers and Square is growing faster, then that's great. If you don't normalize the numbers, then it doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah, I would agree. And just for everybody else to note, this chart in the bottom is insane. It looks like it's almost up like 170%. So at least yeah, we'll see for sure. But it does seem as if Dorsey's doing a great job, which is good for Bitcoin. So moving to the next story, which we'll put them at the top. So social investing platform eToro expanding crypto trading to the United States. I am excited about your thoughts on this one, Tone. So they're launching a crypto exchange and mobile wallet, and they're expanding into the US. So they plan to trade 10 different cryptos. The point of differentiation for eToro is in their social features, where they allow users, they can follow and even direct message traders, as well as follow topics with customized news feeds. So to go on a little bit about how this is a bit of a special platform, Additionally, every month, the platform pays select traders out of its marketing budget a sum that they say is worth roughly 2% of the trades and gains that other users copy. So users can choose to copy a popular trader like you with just a fraction of their portfolios and adjusting the amount based on how comfortable they feel with the influencer's risk level. So what do you think about that? And you could on this platform get paid for people who follow you.
Yeah, but once again, in my personal case, I don't even know what eToro does. Again, this goes into the problem of time. If there was enough time in a day for me to trade, I probably would, but that also means I have to stop doing social media. Because for me personally, trading is no longer my job. My job is, promote Bitcoin and blockchain, make YouTube videos, and meet people and teach workshops. That's my job. Trading is not my job. So if you try to do your job that you have no time for, you're gonna do that job very, very poorly. I mean, it's fine. I don't. I mean, they're expanding into the U.S. That's fine. Again, I'm not sure why this is like major news, right? Like, I mean, I don't hear from, I don't know, a traditional broker like my broker, Interactive Brokers. We're expanding into Germany. I'm sorry, guys, this isn't news, right? This is more like this feels like a pay-for-play article. Or I don't know, somebody at CoinDesk likes this company. I did see a bunch of eToro like shirts, I think, over at the CoinDesk. So they were there. They were probably a sponsor. Like, it's fine if they do a good job, if they're a good platform, if they're see, I'm not sure if they're an exchange or a platform. It seems like they want to do both. If they're good, there'll be traders on there trading. And if they want to reward, traders that other traders are copying, great. But again, like it's weird to me how these things have articles written about them. Do some real work, do some real journalism, guys. I'm sorry, I don't want to be critical of CoinDesk here, but I'm not sure exactly how this is news. Sorry.
Yeah, I do find that interesting. They actually are interchanging exchange with platform a couple times in this piece. Just a last note, although I don't think it's completely prescient to the analysis of the story that you were giving, but eToro was founded back in 2007, a year before Bitcoin was conceived. And the CEO is saying that he helped invent Bitcoin's colored coins. So it's an interesting bit of background.
Yeah, it would have been really nice to have Jimmy on here this morning. Unfortunately, Jimmy is teaching his workshop because Jimmy was involved in the Colored Coins project as well, and it would have been nice to get his take on the founders of eToro.
Yeah, maybe if we get Jimmy tomorrow, we can ask him.
No, we're not gonna get him tomorrow either. It's a 2-day workshop.
Oh no, Monday.
Yep, Monday.
All right. Well, yeah. I guess my last take on it is, it does just show, I think, that a lot of things happening quickly. Yeah, I mean, infrastructure from 9 financial institutions, banks, the rest. It seems like we cover new announcements like we're just about to in the next 2 every day. So it seems like maybe this will keep growing until the regulators clamp down, which also we're following, or something implodes and it affects the whole ecosystem. But all right, Wall Street for you. So Wall Street vet Brian Kelly launches a blockchain ETF. So he's working with partnership with Rex Shares founder Greg King, and Kelly will actively manage a portfolio of roughly 30 companies that are actively using blockchain tech and matching one of the 4 general criteria, which he is saying are 1, enterprise blockchain, 2, Wall Street disruptors, quote unquote, 3, mining focused entities, and 4, exchange firms and startups creating a decentralized internet. And as you know, that may be good to explain, there's a very big difference between active and managed ETFs. But Tone, what do you think about what Kelly is up to?
Kelly just wants to make money, and I mean, Kelly is on CNBC's Fast Money. Okay, so if you scroll up, though, don't scroll down too much. You see how it says Kelly? No, just right there where you were. We don't need to see the picture. Just,
Yeah.
no, go down for like maximum text. No, down further. Perfect.
All right.
Right there. Okay.
What am I highlighting here?
No, the top part where it says actively manage a portfolio of roughly 30 companies. Second paragraph.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah.
And see, this is the problem. There are no crypto companies to manage in a portfolio unless you are talking about NVIDIA or the upcoming Canon IPO, because those are real companies with real shares. So what he's actually talking about is managing ICOs. So it would be a portfolio of securities, which I believe are securities. And Brian Kelly should know what a security is because he's been around before Bitcoin and blockchain. But clearly, and again, Brian Kelly also has his own token called Nautilus Coin. And this is where we completely disagree, because I think the ICO space is absolutely terrible. And as people like this on Wall Street try to make these, unlicensed, unregistered securities more relevant and more useful than they actually are, this is how the bubble will continue to grow higher and higher and higher until it implodes. And at this point, I'm starting to think that there will be more money evaporated in this bubble than in the dot-com bubble because of stupid initiatives like this by Brian Kelly.
Traditionally, though, prior to this, do you think that Brian Kelly's good at what he does? Did you like Brian Kelly when you were on Wall Street?
Well, I didn't really know him until I got into the crypto space. Look, we all liked everyone, pre-2015, when Ethereum discovered what it's actually good for, and that is to allow everyone else to print their own money, right? So before Ethereum found its use case of doing something very, very bad to the global financial system, everyone was, I like pretty much most people in the space, including Brian Kelly, because the only thing he had to talk about was Bitcoin. But now he gets to talk about and promote scams on national television. And this is why in the last couple of years, I have basically don't really want to be friends with like 90% of the space because I think they are doing significantly more harm than good.
Absolutely true. He's been very, I mean, you nailed it. And just for everybody else listening, I don't know. I found ETFs confusing prior to my work. And this, just to note, right, is an active ETF. So that's different than what you normally think about with regular ETFs. So
I mean, again, these things don't really exist, right? I've never heard of an actively managed like ETF on the market, right? So it's so I have no idea what he's doing. I mean, if he's got enough regulators on his side, he can pass something this insane. But it's basically, hey, let's put a hedge fund on the blockchain, and then the unqualified investors can now invest in a hedge fund, because why do only the rich get to invest in hedge funds where most hedge funds fail and lose all of their money? Why should only the rich people get to lose their money in hedge funds? I think the average person with very little money should also have the same opportunity to lose all of their money in a hedge fund through an ETF, and I will be more than happy to lose that money for them through my ETF.
True. And to your point, he's saying that the fund will support firms from the seed stage onwards.
Excellent. Right. Perfect. Let's put unqualified investors into seed rounds. That's exactly what the world wants. And the thing is, I would say the majority of people in the space don't understand how like stupid and dangerous that is for the average investor. And they actually think it's a good thing to separate unqualified investors from their money.
You're extra cynical today.
Yeah, I know. It's been a long week.
Well, it does sound that way, but let's hope that Brian Kelly does a good job. But yes, it's interesting. Japan. So this one, Japan Nomura Bank announces crypto custody solution for institutional investors. So Nomura's joint venture will be conducted in partnership with digital asset security company Ledger and investment house Global Advisors. Just to note on this, right? Coinbase announced yesterday its own custodian solution, as well as ICE speaking earlier this month, suggesting a similar SEC compliant custody solution for institutional holders. And we spoke 3 days ago about BitGo launching the same service. So Nomura, as we know, is one of the biggest financial holding companies in the world with huge subholdings. So it I think does potentially trump the others, but we're hearing a lot of news about this. So what are your thoughts, Stone?
Yeah, I mean, the Nomura is legit. I actually interviewed for a job with Nomura back in, I don't know, I think like 2002 or 3 or something. I didn't get the job, but it was, I mean, Nomura, they're huge. They're pretty big. And I mean, I'm not surprised that the financial industry is headed in this direction, right? Because ever since the CME launched their futures of Bitcoin, they were specific to be cash settled. So now there is this push. Hey, so all these people want to store Bitcoin. So we want to store this Bitcoin for them. Again, this is not what a decentralized world looks like. Okay, this is the complete opposite of that. And what we have is companies trying to be, the Coinbase, but a more legitimate version of Coinbase coming through the financial industry. And everyone's going to work with different companies that see themselves as specialists at Bitcoin security. So BitGo is a Bitcoin security company. Ledger is a Bitcoin security company. Trezor as well. CoinKite is about to launch cold cards. They're a Bitcoin security company. So everyone is going to work with different security companies in order to make sure that they're storing Bitcoin correctly. I mean, I'm at least happy that Nomura has, gone with Ledger, who know what they're doing when it comes to Bitcoin security, and not some hot ICO that launched yesterday that's going to provide Bitcoin security with their ICO token. So at least they're going in the right direction. But is this where you want your decentralized currency to go, being held by a bank? I don't. Other people might. So we'll see. We'll see what develops of this.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting. I agree. As you know, I was working in Japanese equities, and I'm a huge fan of the bank. And recently, I think it was back, actually, not too long ago, this month, that Morgan Stanley made a big. Yeah, you were at JP Morgan, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Morgan Stanley said that they split with Nomura over emerging market outlook. So Nomura maybe knows something or just is starting to take a strong stance, but I think they're making moves. And obviously we follow Japan all the time. So, all right, this is a fun one. Have fun with this one, Tone. So the SEC.
Oh, wait, I didn't see that one. You didn't send me that one in the morning.
Oh, man. Are you ready? What do you
Yeah,
think about the Howie coin?
Oh, that's great. Did I tweet that out? Didn't I tweet that out yesterday? I haven't looked. I haven't looked at it yet.
So it's this. You know what this is about.
I have a vague idea what it was about. I hadn't had a chance to look. You know what? Like, I'm gonna be like I guess I'm in a grumpy mood this morning. So I'm gonna look. It's all fun and games, but the SEC should really take these ICOs seriously. It's like I feel like me and Jimmy Song are taking the ICOs more seriously than the SEC, and that's really kind of bothersome. So like it's all fun and games, and they want to pretend like they're launching an ICO, and they want to explain why all of these ICOs are in violation of the Howey test. Maybe you should arrest someone for an actual violation of this, and then this nonsense will stop, because it's really, really bad. Like it's bad for the average person. And this is the argument that I have with pretty much all of these people. Like last night, everyone is trying to pitch me their ICO, and these people don't realize that they're scamming. They don't realize that they're scamming. They don't realize that there is a reason why you don't have any money to fund your company, and you're trying to get that money from mom and pop and unqualified investors. Okay, go get it from your family members. All right, go get it from people you know. Stop pitching it to people that don't understand what you're doing and have no business investing in your dream. So I have to look at these links. I have not had a chance, but I kind of wish SEC would take this a little more seriously and not see it as a joke.
I absolutely agree with you. And also, I had to mute myself because this is just too funny if you're seeing the screen right now. I like this really romantic champagne for the double 25% discount. So yeah, I agree with you, but I absolutely agree with you, I would say. And this is hilarious. I recommend that people scroll through at least for amusement. But yes, it's not a joking matter. Like okay, I'll stop. And Giacomo, we're evoking you, Giacomo. Unfortunately, we're missing you today. So the CCIO research, which is China's Ministry of Industry and Information Technology, has listed that Ethereum is number 1 and Bitcoin is down at 13.
At what? At what?
This is just their ratings.
Ratings of what?
Like validity, my understanding. Scores of like the first.
Excellent. This is beautiful.
Yeah.
This to be honest with you. Oh wow, IOTA. Wow, that's excellent. So let's see. Steam is at number 2. So let me see. So Monero is the first non-scam on that list. That comes in at number 9. And then Bitcoin is the only other non-scam on that list. Bitcoin needs to be completely off that list. Bitcoin needs to be outside of the top 15. And maybe then I would actually be bullish Bitcoin. Look, the way markets work is like the amount of stupid at the top has to be at an unreasonable level, because that's how the maximum amount of people get separated from all of their money. So until people actually believe that everything on that list above Bitcoin is actually better than Bitcoin, we may not see a complete implosion of the shitcoin space and the reemergence of Bitcoin.
Right. And if I did read about this correctly, they were talking about how it's all the domestic experts and scholars that contributed to the ratings. And the calculation was based on 3 indexes: 1, technology; 2, application; and 3, innovation. And
right. Well, again, to anyone that knows what a blockchain is, you starting to understand how ridiculous and stupid this is, because whoever is working at these industries, whoever is over there that made this ranking is probably heavily invested in those shit coins, and they have to get that narrative onto the unqualified investors to buy into their scams so they can potentially get out, or if they're dumb, they're gonna keep holding on to them. This is I mean, this is comical, right? More than anything.
Right. And I love that, China bans their trading of cryptocurrencies, but it's nice that they're ranking them, at least. Kidding. All right, let's see the price.
All right. Speaking of more pessimism, let's go look at the price.
Jeez.
I'm not having a good
morning. Someone throw a joke in the live chat or something, I'll totally read it to Tone. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I know. I mean, again, I just came from like an ICO, an ICO shit event. Apparently, it was just ICOs. It was really, really frustrating. Really frustrating. Let's see. What am I doing? All right. Before I do the price, I will be in Philly tomorrow evening for a meetup. So that would be around 6:30 p.m. Here's the address, the Institute Bar, but please RSVP because I don't know how many seats they have. So please go to the meetup link. I should probably post this link, so I'll tweet it out. But go ahead and look for it. Just Google, Bitcoin Philadelphia meetup, and you'll find this guy. All right. And also, the reason I'll be in Philadelphia is because I will be doing the Philadelphia workshop. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's maybe about 8 or 9 seats left, not 16. Maybe I haven't refreshed this page in a while. I don't know.
Don,
yes.
Why do Bitcoiners want a Lambo? Because Ferrari is owned by fiat. Great job, Bitcoin.
Oh, nice. All right, let's get to the price. Here's the weekly chart. I believe today's Thursday. We are back under 8,300. This is a neutral week, according to the numerical indicator, the time indicator. And if next week goes below the current week, it becomes a shorting opportunity on a long-term scale. The last two times we had these, you can see the thick red lines of when a red 2 went below a red 1. In this case, red 3 went below a red 2. And I talked about, what kind of percentage it was from that line break to the bottom. Not as great the second time around. We'll see what happens the third time around. And yes, I am expecting that. We got rejected by the 30-week moving average, and exactly the way we got rejected by the 30-week moving average back in 2014. Let me zoom out there a little bit and back up here. Here it is. Again, I have not seen anything that looks different between this chart at about this point in time right here. Okay, so this is approximately the candle we are looking at this week here. Okay, this is what the current environment looks like to me. We came, oops, let me not do that. We basically came up, we made another bottom, we came up, we hit the 30-week moving average, we got rejected by the 30-week moving average, and now we're holding the 7-week moving average. In this case, the moving averages came together for a couple of weeks, and then we had the double death cross at the same time. The 7 and the 30 both crossed the 50 at the same time. And we'll see how we do this time around, but I don't see much of a difference here. I don't even think the 7 is going to go above the 30-week this time. I'm actually waiting for that 30-week to roll over. And I know you guys don't like the bearish scenarios, because if only I was bullish, the price of Bitcoin is going to go up. But no, that's not going to happen. If I was bullish, all it would be is more trolls saying how wrong I was being bullish at 10,000. There's a lot of keyboard warriors out there. So unless you are doing your own content, you might as well just not comment, because it's totally irrelevant. And so let's see how this week ends. Again, I remain bearish and very skeptical. And let's see how the week ends and how next week begins. There's not much more I can say about the weekly chart. You are below the 30-week, that's bearish. You are now below the 7-week, that's bearish. All the moving averages are still rising, so that's good. But the 7-week is below the 30-week, which is bad. You are now below the 50% Fibonacci line. I believe that's the 50%. Yeah, the 50% Fibonacci line, and you are, creeping closer to the 61% Fibonacci line. And below that, there's really not much support. There's really not much support below the 50-day moving average. If the 50-week moving average, if the 50-week moving average gets taken out to the downside, I see absolutely nothing that will hold the price until 49.75. And here's the biggest problem. If we get to 49.75, all of these moving averages would have rolled over. And the last time all of these moving averages rolled over, it was not pretty for a year. So you got to be real careful here. Here's the last time all the moving averages were rolled over. So at this point where the 50-day started trending down for the second time, or actually the first time, when this happened, right, you have the 7, the 30, and the 50 all in trending downwards, and they're all rolled over. Price of Bitcoin was 300, and that was October 2014. That situation did not reverse until probably here, which was December of 2015. So over a year it took for these moving averages to flip to the other side, and then times were good for about 2 years. So, I mean, that's the worry, right? I'm hoping that 49.75 is going to be the ultimate low of this bear market. But I wouldn't be surprised if we're bearish for a year. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't want that. I don't think that's going to happen. But we're taking it one candle at a time. Here's the daily chart. The daily chart is on a red 2, but it is not trading below a red 1. It is, however, trading below the 50-day moving average. None of this looks good. This looks extremely bearish to me. And maybe tomorrow you will have a red 3 trading below a red 2, setting you up for 6 more days of downside. I actually don't think this trend line is going to amount to much. I'll have to double check it. Maybe I'll have no time to do like an advanced trading Bitcoin long show. So I wouldn't put too much stock in this trend line that I have. I have to double check if it's even relevant. And the daily chart just looks bearish to me on all fronts. You have the 128 day is now going down. The 200 day is still holding up, and the 50 days flat, but we're going below it. So let's see what happens there. The CMF is very, very weak in the positive direction. It hasn't even gone negative yet. If it does, again, it's a big leg down. 7,600 is my first point of support, though I don't think that's going to last very long. This is the 12-hour chart. The 12-hour chart, like I said, for the last couple of days, the moment you go below this red line of 8,400, I am expecting the selling to accelerate. It's accelerating a little slower than I expected. You are now on a 5 of 9. So I am looking for, in 2.5 days from now, there could be, a bounce maybe back to this red line of 8,400 and then probably back down. We will talk about it as we get there. The 4-hour chart, it's amazing how people are posting their bearish scenarios on daily and weekly charts, and people are replying with how wrong they are, because the 4-hour chart is giving you divergent and bullish scenarios, which I agree with. And I said this on my last video, that the 4-hour chart was showing you some divergence, but it's going to get trumped by the daily and weekly and the 12-hour charts. So once again, you are stuck below this red line. And once, this divergence has played its role, probably already over. So once again, I am now expecting an acceleration. You just had a red 2 trade below a red 1. So you do have a Fibonacci line here. But at this point, there's a 10. So we are still looking for a 13. I am expecting things to accelerate. And the 1-hour chart is still below the cloud everywhere. And the CMF is still negative. It's not as negative, but the price is also not as negative. I don't see much divergence here. I do see, the 200 period moving average, or whatever that is. Yes, that is the 200 going down. The 50 is going down. Again, I am expecting another leg down in the price of Bitcoin over the next 24 to 48 hours. I just don't see anything positive in any of the charts across any time frames. Now, people can be mad at me for seeing something that I actually see. So my only choice is either I don't make videos in bear markets, and then I won't talk about price until I feel that it has reversed to the upside, which may be a year from now, or I'm going to continue to tell you what I see in the charts. And what I see in the charts is bearishness across every single time frame. And there's nothing I can do about that. Get your rich friends to buy more Bitcoin and turn the charts around. What do you want me to say? All right, that's it.
All right, thanks, Tone. That's it, guys, and have a great day. Tone, feel better.
Bye, guys. Yeah, I'm a little under the weather, and it's been a rough 3 days, and I got to go to another event tonight, and then it's rough time. All right, bye, guys. Good luck trading.
Bye, everybody. Thanks.